voice print identification.
Let's go.
Hello.
Hello.
Hope everybody's having a happy Valentine's Day or happy single failure day. How you doing today, Eric?
Oh, I'm kind of dragging now, but I was moving at a pretty good clip earlier today. I'm coasting.
Right coasting.
Now.
Yeah. The weather. I'm just done with it.
Yeah.
We've still got at least a month or two to get for winter. Well, not by the date, by how it usually goes.
Right. You're not going by what that big fat tree rat did.
Oh no, I don't even pay attention that day. Yeah. The sniffle. I'm drinking tea. Good stuff. Oh, yeah. I was because I've kind of already knew bits about this before.
Right.
This plan has been going on for a while. I think it started with the Biden people, surprisingly, but it was more or less. Well, let me bring up the article here. And Israel is mulling attacking Iran's nuclear facility in the coming months. The Wall Street Journal and the Washington Post have reported citing anonymous U.S. officials on Wednesday. It was reported that U.S. intelligence agencies had presented a report around New Year's Eve, and another several weeks later suggested that the Israel leadership was considering a significant strikes on Iran's nuclear sites in 2025. The first part of 2025, to be exact. The WAPO alleged on Thursday that the intelligence was pretty much a joint chief of staff and a defense intelligence agency had concluded that Iran's nuclear sites could be targeted in the first 6 months of 2025. The newspaper quoted sources as suggested that Israel believes that the bad people over there, I can't say them, air defenses were degraded by the attacks in late October, and that Tehran is more vulnerable due to sanctions related to economic woes, meaning they've been cut off from getting money because Biden's not there no more.
Right.
Now, they're coming forward with all of this just to say, hey, we can, And not saying they won't, but usually you don't give interviews for the media saying you're getting ready to do it.
Well, not only that, but it's proven that that country had orders on a hit for T-Man, so
Oh yeah,
he's not going to let that slide.
no. And I assume since it was intelligence got over um, a New Year's Eve ish, New Year's, that it was okayed by Biden, or you know, it's hard to say. You know, it could have been Trump reaching out to his people, telling them to okay the intelligence going over to Israel and stuff. Because a lot of times that stuff is already moving before the 20th happens.
Right.
You know, especially when it gets closer, the staff is already moving, the staff is being let go, and all that.
Yep. Hmm.
So if, say it does happen, nuclear facilities do get hit, and it's hard to say. Um, and we know what it means by the nuclear facilities. Um, say they go ahead and do it. What do you think the the blowback will be from that?
From them?
Yeah, or partners from with them.
Well, you've got Russia, China. They all helped them out, correct?
In a sort of about way.
Right. I mean, they're sending stuff there, whether it's on paper or not. It's still going in
Yeah,
ports.
yeah,
I don't really. I mean, what are they going to do? You put a
yeah. And I think the only reason Russia and China are involved in Korea uh, is because of what's under the ground.
right,
I don't think they could care less, other than you know being in that location, being able to set up a base or something in that location.
and I think the power plants in Iran. I think they're spread out quite a bit for a reason.
Hmm.
So, I mean, that's no matter to us. I mean, whether it's a tomahawk or
Yeah,
stealth bomber or whatever, it's gonna go. But
yeah, yeah.
so,
That's
well, Israel did that. I forget how many years ago, where they took them all out.
oh
I
yeah,
forget, I forget what year that was, and that kind of put everything on a back burner, so to speak. But I think I don't think it's an if. I think it's a when it happens. That's the weaponry now. There's not going to be any rebuilding that stuff. That's going to be big potholes over there.
oh yeah. And like just like we have hidden places and they have hidden places, and
Sure.
it's it's not going to completely shut them completely
No,
down, but
but the
um,
sanctions help keep the money out of their hands.
yeah, and they don't get a bunch of money to fund bad
They're,
groups and
yeah,
everything.
they're proxies that go into Israel and all of the other surrounding Arab states and start trouble. And
Yeah, and I don't mean to bring up the Doge thing every week, but um, just like these programs that are over there, you there's money being used from those for other purposes,
sure,
other than feeding the pockets of politicians and whatnot, because you see this medical aid thing that just popped up with that trillions of dollars.
they found wasted.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that has been going out, and they said it's like 8% of our debt. Imagine that, 8%.
yep.
I mean,
And then you wonder why we have a deficit, right?
yeah. And there's
Hey, Josh.
these videos on TikTok going around
Hmm.
about these people upset.
Oh, yeah.
um, Gray sent me one of these too. This lady real upset, saying that she would get she was getting $4,000 with food stamps, and 88% of her rent was paid by Section 8, and it's all going to get taken away unless she sells her brand new 2024 BMW or
Imagine,
Mercedes or something
imagine that.
that that she earned by being a TikTok person, and she's upset. She says she wants to go back to Biden being president because things were better for her.
Yeah.
Duh.
Well,
And that's the problem right there.
how about the picture of the one guy they were putting in the ice truck saying, you know, blank Trump, and I want Biden back, and I'm not going back to Haiti, and it's just like, really.
Yeah. But she's given this speech to her followers on TikTok, and it blew up. Of course it did. But she has to sell her Mercedes or BMW, whatever it is. It's
I mean,
expensive.
yeah.
I mean,
Well, we're all going to lose a lot of sleep over that one.
yeah, yeah. She said now I only get $80 in food stamps. I'm like, wow, it's more than I get.
If she
And
was double dipping and cheating the system, she should get a jail sentence instead of
yep,
$80.
yep.
That's fraud.
And this is in Michigan, by the way. But and that's the thing. States have different laws on it. Sometimes you get a smack on the wrist and have to pay it back, or sometimes you get in some serious trouble.
Yeah.
You know, because in Ohio, if you make anything, you're entitled. You have to um, uh, give turn it over to the welfare offices.
Yeah.
Now, Social Security is a little bit different. They say if you decide you want to try to go back to work, try to go back to work, and then if it doesn't work out, then we don't have to go through all the paperwork and stuff.
Right.
But you have so many days or weeks before you have to.
Well.
Oh, I know. That'd be nice, wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
it? Somebody pay my bills for. Ugh.
You know who I want to pay my bill? I want Maxine Wooders to pay my bills. Bring her butt up here. Come down to Florida, Maxine. We
Or
can sit at the
just
dining
my
room table.
utilities would be nice.
You can cut me check after check after check after check. I'll even feed you.
My internet has gone up to 120 some dollars a month. Before Biden, it was $44 a month.
Yeah.
Oh, but Biden did a wonderful job, didn't he?
Well, all I know is the more that's being exposed, the people that did the right thing and earned their livings and paid their taxes and did what you're supposed to do, that's going to start sitting in their craw. And the more they see
Oh yeah,
what's been going on, and there's going to be, well, it's coming. Let's just put it that way. That's what I believe. I'm not saying, in the streets type of stuff, but it's coming.
yeah.
You don't mess with people's money. That's the one thing you don't do, especially when it's earned.
Yeah, and what got me all the hate. I mean, I'm not too much of a fan of Muskie, but people freaking out because he had his son there. Whoa!
Yeah.
You've never taken your kids to work or
Yeah. It's
to
a
the
show.
store or
Right.
whatever with you?
Show me a booger and I'll tell the world everything.
I was like, what's the big deal?
They replayed, the Tube had a thing on that, and they had his son's name is X,
Yeah.
and he was messing with his nose and doing that, and then they went over, it panned right to T-Man, and he's just looking at him, shaking his head, laughing. Oh,
Yeah. I'm sure that's not the first nose picked in the Oval Office.
no. Don't forget, Uncle Joe was there. Well, when he was awake. So.
Yeah. He probably had somebody help him with that, though. Um, this one gets me. The Department of Education. And these are some of the things that are coming out. And there are people complaining about, shutting the Department of Education and letting the states take care of their own stuff.
Yeah, it should go back to the states.
Yeah.
Well, a lot
Well,
of things should go back to the states.
Department of Education was caught funding teacher training program implying that babies are racist. Yeah. I don't know how they funded something like this and how they fix it. But you get a bunch of babies together, they don't pay attention to what color or any of that. They just, ooh, that's somebody my size. I've never seen this before. It's interesting to them. I mean, that's why they have play dates and everything, so the little babies get to play with another kid, and it's like fascinating.
Right. There's another little person here.
Yeah. I'm like, how? Don't give them any ideas. They probably have a program for that too. I was going to do a short video because you can get away with playing music and stuff slightly of some of, because it has been reported because of the halftime thing that um, their halftime thing was to get rid of division and everything. And I try to stay away from this stuff, but I found it interesting that and there's people that documented it. It's just not me because I didn't watch the thing, but um, there was only one race involved in this, and one of the things is because they said that all the past half times were racist. The halftime
How
events.
I don't where are they
Uh,
getting it from?
yeah, I know. I'm like,
Just look at
well,
the music.
Michael Jackson. He did have some light skin, so they might confuse that. But you got Prince, Janet Jackson. There's so many, and uh, who was it with Aerosmith? When Aerosmith was the halftime thing, he invited other artists, and they were not all white artists. They were multiple different.
They they did a redo Walk This Way with Run DMC years ago.
Yeah,
So I mean, no, there's no racism there.
yeah, and that's what I said. Um, yeah, that's a bit inappropriate there. Can some Grace? Can you take care of that for me?
Well,
Um,
he's obviously blocked me. Yeah.
but
Um,
like I said,
Rudy, you're getting out of hand, dude.
I don't pay no attention to because I don't pay attention if there's who's up there. If I like it, it's good. If I don't, I don't. You know, um, it's I don't I don't pay attention to it. But when it's being implemented that all the other ones are that, then that points a picture to the the Super Bowl halftime this year, and I'm like, no, I didn't watch it, but it's all over the place because of I guess there's fights between another artist from last year or something and this one. I don't know. I don't care. Um, I didn't. I didn't watch the Super Bowl because it was. I was like, it's the same thing as last year and the year before. Um, it didn't. There was no appealing. I I really didn't think Philadelphia was going to win.
I did.
Um, but you know, because maybe if there wasn't so much talk about the referees beforehand, then it may have went a different route because um, the referees were really strict in the Super Bowl, from what I gathered.
Yeah.
And some other news, and got to be careful how we phrase it and everything because
Thank you, Lake.
uh, um, the stuff that happened in Wyoming with the mother
Yeah.
and her four kids.
Yeah. Years ago, you mean?
No,
Oh, the newest one you're talking about.
yeah,
Yeah.
not sure what day it was. The 12th. 11th or 12th, I do believe. Let's see. Oh, it was Monday. The 32-year-old mother called dispatch around 1:30 p.m. Monday, reporting that her daughters had been pew-pewed,
Mm-hmm.
and that she believed that they were no longer on Earth, according to a press release from Bighorn County Sheriff Office. She told dispatchers uh, where officers were where to find her daughters. Uh, two were located upstairs in their cribs, and two would be located downstairs in a shared bedroom. Um, Sheriff office said the woman then told dispatchers that she would delete herself. Very, very, very sad.
Mm-hmm.
There's some news that you just hate to read. Yeah, one of the kids did survive. I don't know how she's in bad shape or whatnot at the moment, but I've actually been to that little. It's not a. I wouldn't even call it a city, just a burg. It's a small community. Um, yeah, it's very sad. And what was the other one? Yeah, I'm not going to say much about this one. It, the mother's partner uh, did did bad things to a 2 year old, and the 2 year old's not with us anymore,
Oh boy.
and pushed the baby around for 2 days. A little 2 year old.
Now, this was the mother's boyfriend or girlfriend?
You don't know anymore.
Oh, that's yeah.
Yeah, because that I
It's
never liked the thing is a partner thing.
yeah.
There's some people will disagree, say, "Oh, you're partners. You're not a husband and wife." But if where the husband and wife comes from, go read the Bible,
Right.
and it's not. And even in the Bible, it doesn't demean a woman because she's a wife. If you read about it, it's quite the opposite. But I never did like the partner thing. Um, but I understand it if you're both the same thing. You, one may not want to be called a wife, or
Right.
the other one might not want to be called the husband. That I understand, but not everybody should be called that. Other good news, it'll make you like, wow. You remember Duck Dynasty, don't you?
Sure. The
Uh,
Robinsons.
you remember the girl, what was her name? Sadie,
Uh,
the main guy's
his
daughter.
okay, daughter.
Yeah, she's expecting her third child. Dang, I was like, what? She's a kid. It's like,
We've been
well,
busy.
how long's that show been over?
Yeah. Time time moves out. That's for sure.
Yeah. And I was like, third child?
I mean, you could lose track of time real quick.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like there's always videos popping up and say, um, these songs are turning 30 years old today. And I'm expecting, songs from the 80s, 70s, and 80s. And it's like 90s. I'm like, what? That's 30? Dang.
Yep.
Oh. Hey there, Bubba. What else was there besides, the crybabies whining about finding where money's been embezzled?
Right.
No, don't show him that. We need to stop him from doing this. He's showing the public where all of our money's going. How do you complain about that?
Well, if you're a recipient
Well, I
of
know that, but
the fraud, you're going to complain. So everyone you see complaining, they're the ones lining their pockets.
well, there's the other people that follow those people that don't do any research or anything, just follow because they're Democrat.
Yeah.
Or they just don't like Trump, so they follow the other side because that's what they do. They just follow, and they only listen to the news or whatever, and they don't go and actually investigate anything.
No.
Try to get a fact or two.
No, that facts?
Yeah.
Heaven forbid. No, we don't go by facts.
You sit there and you see, do they think that it's being made up, that these countries are getting millions and billions of dollars for nothing, for
Yeah.
the craziest things? Yeah, I heard people talking about it the other day, and I didn't want to get in the middle of it. I'm just, how are you upset because there's a government agency now finding out where all this money is going, your money that you're paying taxes for.
Right.
Why are people not upset about this?
It's TDS. It's always TDS. I don't know you, Lala, but I hope that bag of chips tasted good.
Lala.
Yeah, I slapped her with a bag of chips.
Oh. At least it's a bag of chips.
Yeah.
It could be worse. Ask Grace.
Oh, about the Mr. Yeti?
Hey, Harvest, good to see you.
I didn't put the word dumping yet, so
Oh no, was you sick or something? Yeah, I know. It's like, oh, put it back. Yeah, digging in your sofa, you find a quarter, and they yell at you, "Put it back! Put it back!" Somebody, we don't know it. Nobody knows there.
or they'll step on it, stand on it for an hour.
Yeah, and like I said, with the Department of Education, it the government shouldn't be involved in it. In one breath they complain about the government controlling this and that, and then they complain, oh, they're taking away the Department of Education, and yeah, they're giving it back to the states. No, the government needs to be in control of it. Wait a minute, you just said you didn't want government controlling you for this and that. Uh,
Yeah.
I, I I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me. And I didn't see too much. I heard it as I was strolling through something or something like that. But Biden being awarded $50 million for a nonprofit tribal land, something or other. Uh, I didn't catch all of it, but I was like, oh, I wonder when this was set up. You know, how do you start getting all this millions of dollars after you get out of office all of a sudden for nothing, you know? And how many times has has this went on and nobody's noticed because it's not nobody caught it or anything.
There's there's going to be a lot more coming out.
Oh yeah, I hope so. I mean, and the thing is, you're gonna get a lot of people that's going to say, "Oh, they're just making this thing up, and we don't spend that much money." Yeah, and they're we're the last thing uh, we're embezzling Ukraine now. Uh, like, are you what?
You mean the money laundering capital of the world, Ukraine?
Yeah, it. I don't know it because we're saying Trump. Well, Trump saying, "Hey, you got stuff in the dirt there that you can start paying some of this back," which is yeah.
Sure.
Look, $350 billion
Yeah. He mentioned
for
something
what?
really good mineral content in
Yeah,
uh, in their soil over there, so which is good for like chips and you know military grade electronics and all that
yeah.
good stuff. So
Which I don't see nothing wrong with that.
no, why shouldn't you get paid back?
Yeah, yeah. Well, just go look at their houses. I mean, are all their houses?
Oh,
How
that's
how do you how do you how do you live in those houses? You can't even afford the electricity for those houses um, with your salary.
there's a YouTuber that caught her out on the streets today. I don't know if you saw it. And of course, they're trying to push her away. And this guy's like, "You're all upset about this Doge. How do you're making like
Oh yeah,
180,000 a year as a sitting senator? Now let me do the math. How long you've been a senator? You claim to be a Native American. That was a lie. And then you've got like $18 million here, and you got this $1 million house over here, and it's just like I don't know. These people they're either really really stupid or they don't care. They just put it right out there.
yeah. Um, oh, what's his name? I can't remember his. He has a channel, the Lunatic Gardener. I can't remember his name right off. I just met him last year at the summit thing, and he was telling us about uh, government officials, the agencies coming in and raiding his farm, confiscating his um, all the meat and stuff because he was selling it, and it didn't have the stamp of approval and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Even though it was sanitary and all this stuff, they have they have a butcher place where they do all this, and and eggs, and the whole shebang there. And because you can see all this on his YouTube channel, because he talks about being a farmer nowadays and not being a farmer that, yeah, that's him. uh he's a, I mean, just listening to him talk was wonderful, but getting to know him, oh, that so much better. And when he was telling us that these government people came in and raided his farm and took all of his product, and there was people, around the area that, uh, because his stuff was cheaper too than going to Walmart and whatnot, and so much better. Um, there was people relying on his little market around there to buy the stuff.
Yeah.
And what if nobody ever got sick, nobody ever got, you know, weird diseases or anything? What is the harm? What harm is there of that? Of, you know, raising your own animals and taking a portion of them and selling it at a cheap price to, the farm going and stuff. Same thing with the produce and stuff. They confiscated everything, and it didn't have anything to do with. There was the cheese and stuff, but it wasn't like the milk. Oh, the milk's bad because of, all this stuff. Nobody has ever reported that, they got salmonella or listeria or any of that stuff. It's just because um, they didn't have control over it.
Yeah.
They wanted control over it. And,
Right.
oh, you
Always been
didn't.
about control.
Your animals don't have these things in them, so you can't sell that meat, and you didn't register it through the process of this and that and the other thing. And it's just it's just horrible. And he tells it on his videos. I don't think he's talked about this on his YouTube channel, but um, if you go in, he does talk about different methods of, if you have farmland and to make money, or just to produce food for your family and stuff,
Yeah.
which methods are best and everything. And he breaks it down, and he breaks it down to where um, you could go the route to where you're injecting your animals with things, and so the government won't won't uh, harass you too much. um, but if you don't feel right in your heart doing that, then go this route and do this way. And he tells you different ways to do it. It's a good channel to check out, though. And he's supposed to be up there again uh, this year, uh, June. Yeah, it's, and how many times has this went on to somebody that's not, famous on YouTube or something? Probably quite a bit, because we heard about the stuff that went on in Oregon with um, the wells, not the fishy wells, but the water wells, um, and um, even keeping the food for yourself, for like milking your own cows and stuff. If you're caught milking your cow on something that's not, what how many feet of concrete did it have to be
Oh my God.
for you
And
to milk a cow?
and where is this person at?
This is in Oregon.
Oh, well,
Not
that doesn't surprise me.
the first guy I was talking about, but the story I did about the Oregon thing. And they're wanting to put meters on private wells for your water consumption and stuff. And when certain times of the year, when California is running low, they want to um, restrict how much water you use. Your water.
Yeah, but
It's not
California,
coming from the city or anything. It's
yeah,
coming from the well on your property.
but they don't. California doesn't get all their water from Oregon.
Well,
All the boilers.
this is the thinking.
Yeah,
It rains and it runs downhill. But yeah, that's and why isn't that stuff like splattered all over the news? It takes and I wish I if you go look into my videos, you'll find it about that. But um, it's a private news uh, individual that broke the story about this and stuff. Is
mhm.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, he, really, really, really nice guy. Um, because I went up there with uh, uh, rebel canners, and instead of eating with everybody under the tent and everything, because it was hot. It was very hot that those few days we were there. So there was one room that was uh, air conditioning, and most of the people that were speakers and uh, did that kind of stuff went in there, and that's where we went and ate. We sat in a nice air conditioning room and ate, and that's when he was telling us stories about that stuff and whatnot. I I met so many cool people that and um, and people who are subscribed to me. I would have people coming up to me. Are you the bushy guy?
The bushy guy.
Why am I the bushy guy? Like the lady at Goodwill come up to me. Are you the bush guy? What? You're the bush guy on YouTube. I said, Bushcraft family? Yeah, yeah, yeah. And she says, my mother loves you. And she said, she's going to be so mad that because she usually goes with her daughter to the Goodwill. And she said, can I get a picture with you so I can rub it in her nose?
Now you're a famous
I
bushy.
guess.
Excuse me.
But I'd have people come up to me and say hi and everything and talk to them for a while. I didn't think I'd run into anybody I know other than Tammy and Courtney from White Family Farm. Um, and there was a few others, but I can't remember their names right off. Hey, Tony. Oh. So, Eric,
Yes, sir.
did you have any salad today?
I did not.
Oh, wow.
No, I went.
Because
When
of
I
course
had to,
I didn't scroll up to see if you had salad. So
yeah, I had to drop my truck off and I put a new whole rack and pinion power steering unit in that I got through the mail, and I did some things, and so I had what did I have? Where my memory's going. I had shrimp tacos, but they weren't the Abilene shrimp. They were the better Florida shrimp, and a side of loaded tater tots. So obviously it was a low carb meal, but and a Pepsi. So, but no salad.
no salad. Wow. Well, you could kind of
Last
say
night I
that
had
was on
last night I had
on
a salad.
the
Yeah,
taco.
you got to kind of swap it up once in a while.
Yeah.
I want to do a stir fry this weekend for my father and brother with shrimp and scallops, and you can get the stir fry vegetables frozen and just whack them in the wok, and you know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm learning though is you get them at a frozen state, and you put them all in a strainer, a cauldron strainer, and you run warm water over the vegetables, and then you let them dry for like an hour, pat them dry or whatever. Because if you just dump them like the bag says directly into your wok, half the wok is water because you're getting all of the
Oh,
fat,
yeah.
And I'm like, why are they telling me to? I mean, it's right on the bag. So, and then I'll cook off the shrimp and scallops in a frying pan on the side. I like sesame oil and season that, and
Hey,
then I just
CJ.
dump it all together. And Publix has these. They're not really large bowls, but they're not small, and they're made out of bamboo. And I use them because when you put hot food in them, the bamboo holds the heat. So from the first bite down to the bottom scraping of the bottom of the bowl, your food is still warm, and it's the bamboo itself that's doing it. So
Oh, yeah. That's. I thought it was really weird that you know a lot of these carnivore people on TikTok and stuff they eat on their their cutting boards. I'm like, why are they doing that? It's weird. Why don't you use a plate?
right,
And because it holds the heat.
yeah,
Because you know, like my cutting board, it's bamboo, and there's people in the comments saying, oh, you're getting salmonella from the chicken you cut up. Um,
well, you wash the board.
well, yeah, but the thing is, it's easier to get salmonella off of the plastic
Yep, right,
ones than it is a wooden one, and it's been proven thing that you can clean you if you cut the same chicken on both boards and wash them off and whatnot and the sanitary way and everything.
right.
And they do the little test on them, swab them and stuff. There's always more on the plastic one than there is on the wooden ones.
Yeah, I just make sure I got the antibacterial soap
Yeah,
on the dishes
yeah,
and hot water. So,
yeah. That on my wooden one, I just rub that soap in there and let it set, and then
yeah.
hot water, and that's good. Yeah, even in restaurants, when after those plastic ones are clean, they they dip them in hot bleach water
Right.
and then hang them until they dry.
Well, bleach is killing everything.
Yeah, they don't do that to the wooden ones though.
No.
Only the plastic ones. Oh,
Yeah, and I've been doing too much talking about it. I got to do it. I got to get my recipe out and do an apple pie.
an apple pie.
Yeah. It's not going to be a big one. I mean, it's just going to be, I'll pre make my dough and, roll it out. I'm not going to do it start to finish type of deal. It'll just be,
Yeah,
bits and pieces thrown together, and that's it.
yeah. Those the little pies like you get at Walmart and stuff.
Hmm.
That um, I remember when my grandpa and he did made these in it on top of a coal stove, potbelly stove. He had this oven thing that went on top of it, and that's where he did bacon. And he baked bread and
Sure.
pies and the whole 9 yards on a coal stove. And he used to make these pies, but everything he made was 3 times the size of what it was. He had a big old skillet that he would make pancakes in, and that's the same skillet. I don't know how big it was because all I know is it was huge to me.
Right.
And he would um, make an apple pie in that, and I'd sit there watch him with his big old hands. He
Hmm.
get in there with. He didn't use a spoon or anything to make the
No.
dough, and he would mush the
Knead the
butter
dough together. And
and
yep.
the lard in there. Yeah,
Yeah, you can learn a lot from if you
and
watch back in the day. Watch
he,
what they did.
he'd have me cutting up the apples, and he'd line them all up in there, and he'd do a mixture and pour on top of that. And
Hmm.
there was no cans.
No.
His flour came in a. I'm assuming it was a 25-pound bag, 30-pound bag,
Right.
and his sugar uh, came in a bag too. There was no little paper bags of flour stuff. It was old school type of type of stuff. And oh man, once that thing about 10, 15 minutes in the oven, because it's not a regular oven. It's the metal in that thing is real thin.
Right.
Um, once you start smell, oh man, or he'd be cooking something, and I'd be up on the mountain behind, doing little kid stuff, and I
Right. Dinner
because
bell.
all the cooking was on the potbelly stove.
Yeah.
We didn't have a stove. It was right there on the potbelly stove,
Right.
and woof, as soon as I'd smell that, I was running down the hill.
That's when you were a little bushman.
Yeah.
That's like in the movies of the past, or you always see grandma or mom putting a pie on the windowsill
Yeah.
for it to cool, and that's what they did back then. Put it
Hmm.
right on the windowsill.
Yeah. Oh man.
I'm getting hungry now. I knew this would happen.
Yeah.
Food.
But making sourdough and made the from the discard. Yeah, the waffles and pancakes are really good with that.
Mm.
Um,
And ice cream.
yeah, I huh? Ice cream out of sourdough?
No, no. I thought when whatever she's making and when it's done,
Okay.
waffles and ice cream and
Oh, okay. It's waffles from the sourdough discord,
right.
the stuff you throw out when you're feeding your sourdough,
Mm-hmm.
because you have to take half of it out and then you measure it, and then instead of
Yeah.
throwing that out, you can actually use it for uh, waffles or pancakes or bagels.
Mm. Yeah, I was thinking about the finished product.
Oh yeah.
And don't forget the chocolate magic shell over the top of the ice cream and some walnuts. Oh boy, and whipped
Oh yeah,
cream.
pizza dough too. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
pizza dough with that. Yeah. Um, I was doing a challenge with the needy homesteader, and because she just got a new book, and she said she didn't want to do it. She didn't want to do it alone, and because it was a rye mix, and my stuff came like 3-4 days later, and I said I would try to catch up as much as I could. So we were making the sourdough, and hers wasn't turning out just right at first, and mine didn't turn out at all. Which I figured out what I was doing, and my brain didn't think of it. But um, toward the about the second week, she says, "I found an error in this book." So we were both doing it wrong because the book had the measurements and stuff wrong, and um, she had got hers fixed because she started over and did it how the how she figured it out. And but because I was still behind, um, watching her videos, and then uh, and I had called her up, and I said isn't doing anything, and I can't figure out why. And she says, okay, let's um, we got on a group call thing and said, let's let's do this together. And um, I measured out the flour and all this stuff, and I went over to get the warm water, and she said, hold it right there. And I said, what did you just turn the sink on? And I said, yeah, you just, that's killing your yeast, um, you know, the starter, because I'm on city water. The chlorine will kill the bacteria that makes the starter. And soon as I did it, I went and got some sterilized water, and
Distilled.
yeah,
Yeah.
and worked it. Next day it doubled in size, and it was good. But I was like, oh, I didn't even think of that, because the last time I did uh, sourdough, uh, it I had well water, so I didn't have to worry about that,
Right.
and I didn't even think about it, because you just want lukewarm water. You don't have to heat it up, but you want it warm. And It did wonders. Now she's really doing good with the she's got this little contraption that um, has a warmer around it. It keeps it at the perfect temperature.
Yeah.
So she just plugs it in, and next morning it's all doubled in size and stuff. And I'm like, dang, I need to get me some of that.
Yeah,
Well,
I
right
never
now
really
it
dug
doesn't
into
do no
making
good
bread.
because I can't have bread. So
Well, once in a while you can.
yeah, I just had a burger yesterday.
With a bun?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
yeah, and French fries.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's a it used to be called Sports Zone, and they used to have like karaoke in there and stuff,
We
and
had one down here.
um, well, they ended up selling it, and they put a restaurant in there. So they
Hmm.
they have specials, lunch specials, and uh, me and my son went there, and it's uh, a burger, fries, and a draft beer, which we didn't have the beer, but um, for $10.
That sounds real good right now.
Yeah, and I was like, "Dang, that's cheap."
The
And
burger, the burger would have to be medium rare, and it'd have to have lettuce, tomato, and onion, and it would have to have melted cheddar or Colby Jack.
yeah, it had all that except it was cooked. um, if I know who's working in the back and whatnot, then I would go medium rare for a burger. But
Right.
if I don't know, it's well
Yeah.
done. Unfortunately, because
Well, I just look at I cut the burger and just look at the cross section a little bit, and you can tell if it's cooked or
well, no,
not.
I mean because you don't know, how clean and whatnot
Oh,
that they
oh,
are
oh.
and stuff at a
Yeah,
new place.
yeah.
It's not new, but it's new because I haven't been there.
All right.
Um, but um, they were the sports zone was closing, and I hadn't been in there for a couple years, and I went in to talk to the owner before they were closing down, and I said, I'm not sure if I have a tab still here or not, because I used to go to the karaoke and stuff.
Right.
And
God, I haven't run a
he
tab
looked it up and he
here.
says, "Yeah,
Wow.
you got a $57 bill." And he said, "Don't worry about it."
Really?
Yeah, I I was uh, kind of a normal one there for a while.
Down here, we call that a regular,
Yeah.
a bench warmer.
Well, Cheryl Crow and Kid Rock
What about
pictures. Oh, I have grown to hate that song because
what song is that?
pictures.
Oh,
Um, because anytime the karaoke was, I would get signed up to go sing with another woman or something to go up there, and I got sick of that song. Ugh. But they had I mean their food was really good too. I knew the guy. I mean that I got like at closing time, everybody else left. I could stay.
right.
Uh,
Yeah,
and
that's like the Greek gentleman that lives across the street from my pops. He owns the Greek restaurant I go into, and his son, who's well, his son owns it now, and he's always like Eric. He's like, come down at 9 o'clock. We close at like 8:30, and you go in there, and the whole man, there's like 50 people in there just chatting and drinking and just,
Mm-hmm.
and it's all free. And I'm like, yeah, it's nice, but not all the time.
Yeah. And one of the ladies that was a receptionist at a real estate office I used to work at, she was friends with the owner too. So um, the lady had a Halloween party, and um, the owners of the bar would come that came down and would we had the Halloween party, and I was charged of keeping the fire going. And the thing is, I get there and they had a bunch of wood, and that's it. They didn't have anything else, and I'm like, what do you want me to do? Rub the sticks together really hard and stuff? I need paper or something. And they said, we don't have any newspapers or anything. And I said, well, hold on. I went, because I delivered advertisers at the time too. So I went in the back and got a couple bundles of advertisers. And that's how we kept the fire going.
Did you put the sign? You mean you were putting the signs in, the 4x4 signs?
No, it was the advertisers, the
Flyers?
paper
Yeah.
newspaper things. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't sing anymore. No. I I used to, and it always got me in trouble. A bag of cookies. Well, see, there you go. See, that's not a bad thing. Was it Grace that said that all the things getting dumped on people was bad things? A
Yeah.
cookie's not bad. A bag of cookies even better.
Oh, that's nice. That bee's at it. Poor Regina.
Oh, and I got my I can watch videos now on my channel
Cool.
finally. They didn't tell me what it is either.
No, they're not.
They didn't email me say, "Hey, you're good to go. We fixed your channel for you."
Right. The issue has been resolved.
Hey there, Jim.
Uh-oh. There's trouble.
Hey, Bushcraft. Hey, Eric. How you guys doing?
Oh, not too bad.
Now that Jim's here, I can go let Jack out. I'll be right back.
I guess Jack's his dog, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he told me what kind of pet he had. I forgot what kind it was. Hey, I got a question. Did you guys ever hear of a gentleman by the name of Mikey Dickerson?
I don't know.
He worked for Obama in 2012 and created the four-letter word that people are going after.
Which one?
Doge.
Oh. Well, Doge is in the meme or
It's
the
the
coin.
predecessor. Actually, Obama wanted everything digitalized, and Mikey Dickerson worked for Google. He was one of their head IT guys, and he thought it was over. He can't even. There's an article on Politico about it I found tonight.
So you're talking about the Bitcoin.
No, the department with Elon.
Oh.
Hey, Grace, Susie D, Daniel. be.
I thought you, because it started out as a meme first, and then
Yeah.
a coin, and then because everybody's thinking that dog and stuff was that's the meme part of it.
I don't know why YouTube is having an issue for me.
Well, hopefully it's not blocking you from viewing.
No, but
That was a pain, because if I wanted to watch somebody's video, I had to go to another account and then watch it, then go back to my other account to say, "Oh, nice video" or whatever.
I'm going to leave YouTube. I won't be able to talk to anyone. I'm going to see if I can find that article for you.
Let me find her channel real quick, because
I thought you were going to have one of your friends tonight. I see it won't be until next week.
yeah, that's next Tuesday.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying. Well, I'm in talks with two other ladies, because I want to kind of bring back the paranormal stuff every once in a while too, because a lot of people like that.
Yeah, the fact that you're going to have someone that has a little farm on will be good.
Yeah.
I'm going to put this article in chat for you to see. It's really interesting. Then I did more research. I'm getting the impression this was done to cover up stuff, and now it's backfired. It's just like the reason why Trump renamed the Gulf of Mexico Gulf of America is because of the stuff with they banned oil drilling with the Gulf of Mexico, and they can't say it's the Gulf of Mexico if it's the Gulf of America now.
Well, the president, or I guess that's what they call it, the president of Mexico is going to sue Google now
For changing the name.
Yeah, but if she's in Mexico, she doesn't see it. She sees the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah, because it's just like other countries aren't acknowledging it. I know.
Yeah, it depends. Other countries can see either or, though.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that Mexico doesn't see it that way.
But like I said, I think this has all been done for legality, really, to get around stuff. I think I hear Eric.
Yep. That crazy dog just put something up a tree. I don't know what it was, but it went fast.
What kind of dog do you have? You told me before, but I don't recall.
A very large, insane border collie.
Yeah, there. How large is large?
85 pounds.
That is a good sized border collie.
I've never had one that big before, and he's got all his papers.
Hey, Ark. Good to see you.
Just that he has all his papers. How old is he, Eric?
He is nine and a half.
Of Gulf Coast.
Yeah, Holly's about the same age, almost 10.
I got him from his foster mother lived up in Ocala. So I had to drive all the way to Ocala with my little Chiweenie to do a meet and greet. And then it was supposed to be, well, we'll see how that goes. So
he's a rescue.
And then, well, technically, yeah, but he wasn't in bad shape. He had a home, but him and his brother, they were adopted together, and the people that adopted him had very small children. Well, border collies and small children, and parents that are never home, you can't lock a border collie up like that.
Oh yeah.
Just like if anybody thinks they can put a German Shepherd in a cage all day, or have it loose in the house, they're out of their mind.
Yeah. So I believe I'm his third owner, and obviously his last owner. So
Well, it's almost impossible where I'm in southeastern Pennsylvania to even find a purebred shepherd unless you drive out to Lancaster County. Because it's debatable if they're really puppy mills or not out there. It all depends on which farm you go to. One thing I learned years ago, people like the Amish and Pennsylvania Dutch, they don't really consider dogs as pets. They look at them on the same level as you would a farm animal.
Yeah.
Because when we got Miss Heidi, she was kept in a chicken coop, and Holly is a foster pet, a rescue dog.
Yeah, I people say, "Oh, never get a rescue animal," and I'm like, "That's the only ones I would want."
It all depends on what happened to them. I mean, some people have had rescue dogs that were just so abused they couldn't handle them.
Yeah,
I mean, we're lucky that Holly turned out as.
Yeah, it depends on the age and everything
Right.
too. Because if you get somebody that's some animal that's been through it for years and years, that's a lot of programming you have to roll back.
I look at it like this. Say you're an elderly person. I would never do it when I was a young man. I can see getting a dog that's several years old because how do you know how many years you have left? And the sad thing is there's a lot of people, a lot of dogs out there that are like up in years where the owner passed away or the owner got in poor health. I mean, it's fun getting a dog as a young puppy.
Yeah, it's like that movie with that. The lady trains the dog. She's in the military, and the bomb sniffer dogs,
Mm-hmm.
and she tries. Well, she ends up getting the dog to because it's been through explosions and stuff like that and whatnot, and she ended up getting the dog to keep afterwards, even though it went on another deployment. And when it got back, she was able to get it for I forget what the name of the movie was, but it was a really good movie.
And those dogs have issues too, trauma,
Yeah.
just like the soldiers that are in the military.
And it only lived a few years more, but it had a good life the rest of its life, instead of being stuck somewhere
And then there's the side of the coin where some people just shouldn't own animals, period.
Oh yeah. And sometimes not even their fault. If they work too much, they shouldn't have a dog.
Well, I'm talking about
a cat. You can. It has a place to go take a dump and whatnot, and a cat will amuse itself with a spot on the wall. A dog, you need to take him out for a walk and run him around some and whatnot.
I saw a sad story. There was a dog in the military that went into one of the tunnels, caves, whatever you want to call them, and after they came out, the dog, because they had a tech there for the dogs, a medical technician, and they said the dog's not going to make it. Well, the techs that worked on humans actually didn't give up. They put the dog on oxygen, and somehow the dog survived. But the dog became partially blind in one eye, and after the guy got out of the military, he was able to adopt it.
Yeah,
being in those tunnels, being deprived of oxygen, and the dog just overexerted itself.
Well, like when Milton came through here, when it came off the Gulf Coast, some really fine individual decided that they were blowing up I-75 trying to bug out. I guess they pulled over and decided to tie their dog to a fence post, maybe 25 yards in from the interstate. And a trooper was going by, like 10 minutes and saw it there in the beating rain. And I think it was a trooper. B, was that a trooper that found that dog? Anyway, well, he got scooped up real quick, when it went all over the news.
Oh, I bet.
People were calling in saying they got the tag number on the person that did it. And
Yeah.
the judges down here are very tough on animal abusers. So,
Good.
you like hurting animals, don't come to Florida because you're going to pay.
Yeah.
I mean, the things I've seen on the internet because of watching local TV, where people have dogs that are starving to death, and with horses too,
Yeah.
and cats. Some people are hoarders and they can barely take care of themselves, let alone having pets. I thought Holly was going to join us. She heard us talking about dogs and got up. What kind of feed do you give your dog, Eric?
The kind he eats.
It's
What do you give him? Dry food?
$40 a bag brand stuff.
Okay.
It's a higher grade of Purina, and I'll give them canned food, but very little. And I mix it together like a slurry.
That's what Holly likes.
In the morning. So when I mix that up, then I take about 2 tablespoons of safflower oil, and I drizzle it on top of that. And then I use a product called the Missing Link, which is a powder base, and it's got all kinds of stuff for older dogs. I mean, just look it up; you'll see it, and that's what he gets. And then throughout the day, he'll get dry. Like before I go to bed, I'll just put my hand in the it's like a cookie jar on the counter, and it's the kibble. And I'll just put some kibble in a smaller bowl, hit it with a little water, and that's it. Because, then of course when I cook, he's right on my lap waiting for something, and I shouldn't feed him table food.
Is that the one you're talking about, Eric?
Yeah, that's it, Dana. Yeah,
I mean, I can't believe somebody would do
that's
that.
right. They did name him Trooper.
Trooper.
Yeah.
Like when I'm working outdoors in the summer, if I'm driving out in the field, I tie Holly with a really thick nylon cord to the bumper of the truck. But then when I'm running the tractor and I can't, for run safety, she can't run loose, I tie her to one of the baler tables. So she goes underneath that thing when it's hot and she gets shade.
Yeah.
I
see some good border collies. I think the guy's name is Sean the border collie farmer or something like that. And he's over in Ireland, and he's got three border. He's got more than 3 dogs, but three of the dogs are border collies, and they'll jump off his ATV when I don't know how many hundreds of acres he's got. He's got a load of sheep.
I was just going to ask you that. He probably has them because of somebody that has a lot of them, to herd the sheep.
And you want to see these dogs accelerate. I mean, you can hear he's like almost wide open throttle on his ATV, and these dogs are just pumping away right now. Of course, they're not faster than the ATV. But
that summit I went to, they had these ducks where these border collies were making the ducks go into buckets.
You sure it wasn't chickens? It was ducks.
They were a special kind of duck that they're some kind of running duck,
a rudder duck, rudder duck,
something like that. But it was the funniest thing watching these things, and this dog would get them to walk in a line into buckets.
Oh,
they'd scoot down in there like that. It was, and he, and just that little movement to stop them from moving. And they had ones for sheep too.
Yeah.
Are ducks any more intelligent?
Border collie with a duck. The funniest damn thing is when they put a live monkey, a spider monkey, on the back of a border collie that's got a saddle on him. I never seen nothing like it. Wow.
You have to go out in the hallway.
Yep. She says, "Come on, Dad."
I'll be back in a minute. It's like I never know. She could go 4 hours or she could go 8 hours. You just never know. It depends on how much. This is the first dog we ever had. She's got a drinking problem. she could go hours without drinking water. Then, like certain times a day, she's just back and forth at her water bowl every 5 minutes. Never saw anything like it. I think she drinks more water.
When's the last time you had her blood checked?
Well, she's done this ever since we had her. And actually, I'm going to have to make an appointment next week to see a new vet because our vet retired. And she does this like around 4 o'clock. Then she does it in the evening, like anywhere from 9 to midnight. I mean, she could. The vet said, my vet that retired said some dogs do that. It's just, what do you think? Do you think she could have a problem, Eric?
Well, I don't want to jump to conclusions or anything, but dogs that normally get thirsty like that all the time, or that's a sign of diabetes.
But in the morning, she doesn't. She might have one little drink, and then like at lunchtime, she has hardly any water. Then in the afternoon, 15, 20 minutes back and forth. Then a few hours later, it's usually around 4 o'clock, right before, from 4 to 5, because we feed her at 5 o'clock. Because if we don't feed her at 5 o'clock, she starts barking, growling, running around the house. I mean, she has us trained well. She eats before we do.
Is she like if you grab a bunch of her fur and skin and pull it up, does it rebound fast back? I mean, or does it stay up and like?
I never tried that.
Well, that's how you test them to see if they're, they need water, if they're dehydrated. Normally, you'll tent the skin, like if you're gonna, because I had a cat that was a diabetic for years, and you just tent the skin up a little bit, and then go in at I don't know, a 45 or a 50-degree angle, and give them the juice. And when she was getting dehydrated, her skin wouldn't bounce back. Just like a human being, if your skin doesn't bounce back when you pull it up, that means that you don't have enough water. And oh, wait a minute. Well, I am not a medical professional, nor does this bushcraft. Do your own research.
This channel Bushcraft family cannot and does not contain medical/health advice. The medical/health information is provided for general informational and educational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional advice. Accordingly, before taking any actions based upon such information, we encourage you to consult with the appropriate professionals. We do not provide any kind of medical/health advice. The use or reliance of any information contained on the site or our mobile application is solely at your own risk.
Please verify you are a human. I'll wait.
I'm a human.
Thank you very much. Okay.
But this is the craziest dog we ever had because she's half Carolina dog. And the thing is, even in the summer, when I have her outside in the heat of summer, she doesn't deal with the water like before dinner. It's only in the house this time of the year. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like in the summer, I'm concerned that she doesn't drink enough water because when we're in the field, the water gets hot. I'll be back in a minute. I think she has to go pee. This won't take long.
Monty, you're not a professional. What are you talking about?
Well, then we're like the full Monty. He might be a professional card player.
He's professional at sarcasm. You got to get back and start streaming those games, boy. That was fun.
Yeah, I'm not going to repeat this because I don't know if it's true, but the pardons were constitutional.
Oh, all the Uncle Joe's?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know if it's, which is it?
who knows?
Yeah.
I know one thing, though, they can be subpoenaed back in front of Congress.
I did see this thing that was really interesting about, people having kids. How it was creeping way up until Obama become president. And then it went straight down. I mean, whoosh type thing. And then there was a brief spurt in 2020. And then it went whoosh, back down again. And it's like at a major low, like before the 1900s. That's how low it's going.
Well, that when it stopped happening, everyone had the free Obama phone, so they were too busy to, too busy messing with their phone.
Well, I was going to say when we had that spurt where there was more babies being made, it was because everybody was stuck at home.
Oh yeah.
Well, what do we do
Yeah.
in 2020?
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes the little studies are interesting, and there's a lot of talk about there's going to be a point where like McDonald's and those types of jobs, there's not going to be anybody for that, because the birth rate has been so bad for so long that there's going to be a range in there where senior citizens and whatnot are going to have to go out and to the workforce, because they'll make so much more money because there's no kids to do those types of jobs anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll start seeing, you're not going to see no teenagers in a McDonald's anymore. It's going to be the older people. And is that like intended to,
Lord knows.
They complain about population and this and that. And then you wonder when certain things happen where like a 2020 thing happens and wipes out millions.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say the word of that, but yeah.
Population control.
You've never made $15 an hour.
You can go to McDonald's now being started that. That's what they're making.
Yeah. I think it's 20 in California.
Yeah.
It's the base rate.
Was anybody watching the time that I was gone? I got her trained at Pete Quick. Hey, Mary Freeland. I'll tell you how bad the economy is. Okay, last night I was looking up like food ads, sales or whatever, to see if there's something my wife forgot. Well, one of the local grocery store chains closed in this area. Where our county seat is, they have a bunch of them. They're discount stores called Save a Lot. Have you ever heard of that chain?
Oh, sure.
Well, the one in everybody calls it Norristown. It's Norristown. I was shocked to see that it closed. And that's going to represent a lot of misery, because I hardly ever go there. I haven't been there in over a year. Anytime you would go there, you'd see these people, people would walk to the store that didn't have, vehicles. And just a store like that in a high density area, because the county seats like 40-some thousand people, that's going to represent a lot of misery for people. Not being able to walk to the grocery store anymore.
Well, they got that here, but it's Dollar General is the big thing here for like little towns. They'll pop a Dollar General up, and you can buy milk and eggs and that kind of stuff there, freezer stuff, until last year they closed like 150 or something like that in Ohio, and some of the little towns around here lost them, and the people were outraged and everything, but they ain't nothing they can do. They don't care about the people. They only want that money.
Don't get me started about the Dollar General. A few weeks ago, they had the Lipton iced tea on sale in the ad for $1, that 2-liter bottle. I went there. They never had it in stock before the sale started. And then I called up the day it was supposed to come in, and the woman told me it never came in. I'm so disgusted with deceptive advertising.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're the only store around here that has RC Cola, and they had it on sale in the 2-liter bottle for $1.25. And my wife and I both agreed it's not even worth going there, because even if you call up on the phone, sometimes they don't answer. And when I was out today, eggs were only $7.99 a dozen.
Yesterday I paid $8.30 for 18.
That's a little better than our rate.
Extra large.
Oh, I want to tell Grace something. Okay, another story. CVS. After Christmas, I went out to the closest CVS and stocked up on Christmas, candy that was 50% off. When I went to the CVS, I couldn't believe they had a whole pile that had these stores got to change what they're buying. They must have had 10 loaves of bread they were throwing out. I said to the guy, "Why are you getting rid of that?" He said it expired. And they had canned goods on the shelf. And the thing is, those stores got to charge as much as they can probably to pay their employees, but it's like the amount of food I saw going to waste at CVS.
Yeah.
I think a can of salmon, pink salmon, is like almost $6 there.
I went to Ollie's today and got some
Ollie's.
canned food and stuff.
I went there too today because I got another coupon. 15% off. I got a question. They were supposed to have Levi jeans in the store, and they didn't even have any in my store.
I don't look at the clothes.
Well, I got Wrangler jeans. I don't like the way they got that stretch material. I got Wrangler jeans for $9.95. I hope they shrink because they're too long. They have the material. It's not spandex, called elastin, for $9.95.
The maternity pants.
Well, it's 99% cotton. My wife said, "I can't believe you bought jeans that are so thin." The thing is, this sizing, the jeans, I looked online, like reviews. Some are made in Egypt and some are made in Pakistan. I figured for $9.95, if they hold up a year.
Yeah.
Jim, you're not wearing skinny jeans. Don't even tell me that.
I need relaxed fit for everything. Actually, because they had 36.29, and I'm swimming in these things. I mean, it all depends. Kenny Pack, it was at the Dollar General. There's one in our area. There's actually two in our area. One technically in Norristown and one in Limerick.
He's doing a lot better. Huh.
And I can't tell. I tried the hair test, Eric. I can't tell. Holly's fur is crazy. Part of it is a Carolina dog fur. Then where it's black, it's the German Shepherd fur.
Mm. But you just want to see if the skin bounces back. It's just a matter of pulling up and then letting go and see how quick it goes back.
Okay, it seemed like it was what it should be.
Okay.
She didn't like me doing it. I'll put it to you like that.
What did I do?
All right. Give you such a pinch.
And who wants to drive to a store? Like I said earlier, there were other things I wanted to get there. Everything I wanted to get there, they didn't have in stock. I mean, who wants to drive 5 or 6, 7, 8 miles just to find out they don't have what you're looking for in stock?
Oh, look at it this way. It's the way to get out of the house or the field, whatever.
And I try to do my shopping when my wife's home because Holly doesn't like us leaving the house. She hates being left alone.
Separation anxiety.
It could be. Like she's like glue. Now she went upstairs, I think, to take a nap with my wife who went to bed. At CJ 1975, they don't do rain checks. I've gone there looking for pocket t-shirts on sale, and okay, their weekly ad doesn't load on the website properly. I've just out of certain stores.
Well, first of all, the buildings are metal, so when you have to get your app ready before you go in, because if not, but most of the time you just put your phone number in and you get the coupons and stuff. But you have to be fast with the phone number.
I can't get the coupons anymore because I don't have a cell phone to get the passcode.
Oh, yeah. Well, usually you can just put your phone number in. If you registered your phone number with an app, then you just use the phone number.
Kenny Pack, I've never had an enema in my life that I'm aware of.
Yeah, he's just here for trouble.
Hmm.
Him and Mr. Rudy.
Well, I don't need an enema. And I think I'm going to be 64, not in early March. I think I'm doing pretty good for a dude my age. Actually, before I got on the show, I just got done doing triceps tonight. Yeah, you haven't tried lifting in the garage, have you? Bushcraft, it's too cold.
Oh no! If my hands started sweating, I'd get stuck to the bar.
You could be frozen to the bar.
Yeah, it's too cold. I haven't even went out there. There's stuff I have to get done, and I'm like, no, it's bad enough from getting to the truck from the front porch.
How far a walk is it?
Oh, not that far. It's just cold out there.
Gosh, the sister I used to be in business with, we're on good terms. They have one of these little buildings to heat their house where they put wood in it, so the wood heats. Because their old farmhouse doesn't have forced hot air; it has radiators. So he has to go out there at least twice a day and put wood in there so they have heat, or else the furnace will kick on and it'll go back to the oil. And he's like 71 or 72 now.
Yeah, it used to have a wood stove in there, and while this place was the renters that used to be in here, this has been years ago, but while it was setting, somebody went in there and stole the wood stove.
Oh, being charming. It was right before I turned 60. My dad died. Then it was 3 years ago. No, it was 4 years ago. My mom died. Where I actually buried my father on my 60th birthday. Isn't that ironic?
Yeah, I remember when we moved into this place, finally got the heat on. As soon as we turned the heat on, it started warming up, and then it started raining from the ceiling.
God.
Because every pipe in the house was frozen and busted.
Oh, and be charming. My dad was a little like 2 months shy of 97, and my mother was a month shy of 94. And you want to hear a story? I'm not going to reveal any names. We're suspicious. We have a neighbor. His wife left him. I think because he wouldn't leave. And I knew this guy had a drinking problem. And one day we saw the electric company truck at the guy's house. And I went online to the outage tracker because you can narrow it down for Pico, Philadelphia, Exelon. And it showed that this guy's house was the only house in the neighborhood without power. And later that evening, I saw it was taken off, for being, the outage. And the guy's in and out all day, burning his fireplace, and we haven't seen lights on in that house. And it won't surprise me. Well, to make a long story short, I think they're getting a divorce. More than likely, this joker's going to ask the wife for alimony. And she'll probably have to get a court order to get him out of the house. And he's closer to 70 than I am. I think he actually might be that age. The stuff that goes on in rural neighborhoods. Because you hear stories, because one day I said to my wife, do you think something happened to him? And we ought to call the police. Then lo and behold, we saw him outside with the Pico truck being there. Be charming. How long did your parents live to be? Because actually, my grandfather made it to 83, and he was born in 1888, and his father made it to about 80, and he was pre-Civil War. And the funny thing is, both my grandparents, they used to smoke tobacco on a pipe. And my grandmother on my father's side made it to 93. She gave up smoking with a pipe when she almost set herself on fire once, when she was in her early 80s.
That's be a good reason.
Yeah, Grace, we're going to get some snow tomorrow. Gosh, that's scary, Be Charming, 64 and 68. Because my grandfather on my father's side, the one born in 1888, actually my grandmother was 12 years younger than him. He was the one that saw duty in the army in World War I. Yeah, none of us know how much time we have left. Hey, what do you guys think is going to happen tomorrow with Gaza? And how they're only going to release 3 of the hostages?
Well, I think Trump's probably going to do something. He said he don't know if Israel's going to do something, but he's going to do something.
Well, how much time do you think we have before the rapture? Because we've talked about this before. The thing I've noticed, I'm not going to name any channels, there's a lot of people that just keep predicting the rapture. And the more comments I see these people make in their videos, the more I'm thinking they're all woke ministers.
Get up here, Bubba.
Yeah, and Dana B., my wife's brother, passed away on January 11th. He's almost 2 years older than me. He had pancreatic cancer. He made it, a little over 3 years, and he just gave up. And it got to the point where the poor guy couldn't even walk anymore.
Well, I had this crazy idea, and because we know AI is a big part of the internet and everything right now. So I asked AI.
Was it Alexa?
No, that's not really, well, it's AI, but not like these other things. I asked it, I gave it a Bible verse, and I told it to give me make a picture of your understanding of this Bible verse. And it was Matthew 24:24. And if Bubba was up here, he could cite that off real quick.
That has to do with signs in the sky and earthquake, correct?
Not entirely, no. But it's to do with like false prophets and things.
Well, okay.
Anyway,
Yeah, many will come in my name.
this image, it kind of scared me. There was, it kind of looked like a church, a big building, and there was all these people lined up, and there was a figure in the middle that were bigger than the other ones below it, and it was a dog. It was a human with the dog's head. And on the sides there were monitors, and on these monitors had sayings and things on it. And think about it, a dog's head.
Isn't that one of, there's stuff in Egyptian with that, isn't there?
No, there's something right now. We were just talking about it.
Where is it?
Doge.
Oh,
And you could see everybody following this in lines going toward this big image. And that, I may do some more videos on it and or do a live of me asking it a Bible verse or something. But
Cool.
It's very weird that how it interpreted that Bible verse.
did it
Very
take
strange.
who they think the Antichrist might be?
I don't know. It's just,
And you figure, okay, Trump doesn't want to split Israel in two. I think he knows a little bit about Bible prophecy. I mean, I've seen people claiming that Trump's going to be the one that leads the Antichrist in the power.
well, see, those same people were
They were saying
saying
that
that.
about Reagan years ago. I can't be bothered with all that crap.
Yeah, they were saying that the Gaza thing. See, this is what we need Bubba up here for. But no, I already sent him a link. He should already have a link for, because I always sent him a link. But this latest guy said, Trump is going to start the rapture thing and everything because of, oh, here he is, because of Gaza.
Hey.
Well,
Hey, Bubba.
Bubba, is the temple in Gaza where it's supposed to be rebuilt?
No.
Okay, there we go. And I like, do you know where it's? And I was like, does he even know where it's at?
Well, are you talking Daniel 11:45, where the Antichrist is going to build his royal pavilion, his royal palace?
No, the
The actual third temple?
yeah, the rebuilding of the temple. And
Yeah,
this, because
on
he
the
said
Temple Mount. Yeah.
he said that's going to start the rapture because he's going to build the temple where Gaza's at. I'm like, it's not there.
Dude, there's so much misinformation now in the prophecy community. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
I got a question, Bubba. Were you raised Jewish?
No, I've never even been to Israel, but I think those of us who love Israel and their peace with God's timetable with Bible prophecy, I think we have some Jewishness in our history, or you know what I mean?
Well, I know we do.
Oh, yeah.
Because he knows so much about Judaism. That's why I asked.
Yeah. I've always wanted to go, but I know we'll be going on white horses in Revelation 19:14.
I wouldn't want to go to Israel with what's going on over there.
I mean, if somebody give me I would still go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that'd be something you couldn't pass up. I mean,
Yeah.
now if my kids weren't growing up and everything, I'd probably think about it more. But
So expensive too.
Oh yeah. I'm jealous of my son because he got to go swimming in the Dead Sea and
oh, that's right,
all kinds of stuff around there. I'm like,
dude, that is so wild. In the millennial reign of Christ, 1,000 years, where the Dead Sea is going to be alive with fish.
People say that's therapeutic, the salt water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how close do you think we are from your opinion, Bubba?
To the rapture?
Yeah.
Well, there's actually, the more I dig into this, and I was talking to a friend tonight, even like, that verse where it says, "No one knows the day nor the hour." You've got to read that in context, because that's not even talking about the rapture.
That's when Jesus returns.
Yeah. Yeah. But that being said, there's the way we're going. There's no doubt in my mind this year is it, because the things that they have planned, even if we just look at the world, what they have planned, we can't be here much longer because it's that close. I mean, it's getting crazy.
Because maybe the Apophis asteroid that's going to hit Earth, not hit Earth, come close to Earth on Friday the 13th, I'm thinking,
2029, and that'd be right around. And actually, if that comes on Friday the 13th, it's literally like 2 weeks after Passover in 2029. And, that'd be the perfect midpoint, especially if they start off a 7-year tribulation this fall. That'd be the perfect midpoint in 2029.
Because a lot of people that I take stock in say it's going to be sometime around Passover.
Yeah. Yeah. And even this year, I'm looking, we're so staying close. Lord could come before we're even done with this video. But if I were to look at a time frame, it'd be between Passover this year and Shavuot. And that's the middle point of the 3 Jewish feasts and the 3 Jewish feasts in the spring and the fall. It's the one in the middle. And Shavuot is 50 days. And that's also the day of Pentecost, when the church was born. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, and that's the June 1 to 3 time frame. So it's interesting. And if they get these 2 6, there's 3 phases of 6 weeks each for Israel, and the first one ends March 1st, I believe, that time frame, and then the second phase 2 of 6 weeks ends on Passover that weekend, April 12th and 13th. So yeah, it's really interesting.
Well, David Bowie had that song 5 years. Now we're down to possibly 4.
Yeah, we're getting close, man. Just watching all the news, and tomorrow will be interesting.
Oh yeah.
And I think so many people have so much venom over they think they figured out the date. I'm thinking, okay, a true Christian, you know what? It happens when it happens.
Yeah. I know it. I've always said I know exactly when the rapture is going to happen. It's going to happen on a day that ends in Y. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, every one of them.
Now,
yeah, people always have these special calculations and stuff, and then they come and they go, and I get, because they get excited and stuff, but they get all these younger, especially newer Christians, all excited, and then when it comes and goes, then they get discouraged and depressed, and they're like, oh.
Yeah.
Remember Harold Camping predicted the rapture?
What was he, 88 Reasons in 88 or something?
Well, he said it was, he still claims that he predicted it right, because from his point of view, it was a spiritual rapture.
Ah, I see. Yes.
It all comes down to, how you interpret it. And you figure, everybody's interpretation of the Bible is different. Just like, a human being, we can look at a picture, painted by Picasso, or look at, a sculpture, and everybody's going to have a slightly different opinion of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when the Bible wasn't in English.
In English,
right.
There's so many words like repent.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks it's, one thing. And if you look at the definition, it's like to change directions and and go a different route. It's not, Oh, forgive me of all, what I done and this and that. I
Yeah,
never
no.
knew that until I started digging into this stuff, and it's like, wow.
And no one will be able to figure it all out, because if someone figured it all out, they would say, I figured it all out. You don't need to read that Bible anymore. Just believe me. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, people thought it was going to be 2012 because of the Mayan calendar.
I know.
I've been saying, okay, how many end of the world dates have come true? All of them have come and gone.
There's 3 or 4 a year.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
when it doesn't happen, they say, well, it must be leap year or something like that. Throw it off.
Right.
Where it mentions the days will be shortened, my interpretation of that is something's going to happen to the hours in a day, possibly.
Yeah.
Or somebody gets rid of daylight savings time.
And I can see that too, because it talks about the Antichrist will change times and seasons and that kind of stuff. And because I believe that the earth through all the tribulation stuff is going to go back to a 360-day cycle, I believe.
That was accurate. That was accurate for a long time, that something happened. Okay, in the Old Testament, the day of Joshua, and it took so many hundreds of years for it to catch up, for for them to realize that. And I've talked about this for years. I don't think anybody's read it. Emanuel Velikovsky's books, World in Collision, Earth in Upheaval, and Ages of Chaos. The one book talks about all the historical text from Egyptian writings that completely coincide with everything that happened during the days of Moses. When the Israelites were wandering around for 40 years, I still think it happened in Saudi Arabia. And there was a volcanic activity in Saudi Arabia then, where there was basically steam and lava coming up out of the ground. On one of the cable news networks, I forget who the guys, where they did a special, they found an area in Saudi Arabia where it looked like it was actual proof where water was coming out of rocks because of the erosion. And Saudi Arabia wants to decimate that whole area to cover up the evidence. All of us have to look at it. Who wrote all the history that we've been told? I mean, not the Bible, but all the history. Oh, well, they found this there. It couldn't have been in Saudi Arabia. I'm a firm believer that the deep state doesn't want us to know the truth about all of the history of everything in the Old Testament. Without the Old Testament, the Old Testament means just as much as the New Testament, because they go together.
Yeah.
The Old Covenant versus the New Covenant.
Yeah.
So what have you been up to, Bubba?
Well, I'm finally back to doing videos again. I finally, took a hiatus for a while, and then now I want to come back stronger than ever before, and just, you know what, I miss them. It's fun.
There's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah. And the hardest thing for me is, where do I begin? Because there's so much going on. It's like that merry-go-round. Where do you jump on?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's like here in just a few hours. It's already Saturday there.
Yeah, it's 7:09 a.m. or 5:09. So in about less than 7 hours.
Ooh. So get up in the morning and
I haven't talked to you in a while, Bubba.
That's like the bit I did earlier about Israel going to attack
Hamas.
No, not Hamas. Iran's nuclear facilities. If you're going to attack, you don't tell them.
That's right.
Oh, their defenses are down now, so it'd be a perfect time. I think it's like we could,
Well, I'm concerned about Iran having a carrier with all those drones.
Yeah.
What they could do to our country on the East Coast.
Their
You saw
drones aren't
that?
that
Oh,
good,
yeah.
though. Their drones aren't that good.
They've got these pretty cool stealth ones that are fast now.
Oh,
like-
the Russian ones?
Well, no, it's they've gotten a lot of Chinese technology and stuff. And yeah, Jim, you probably saw that this week, that drone carrier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I saw in the news a few weeks ago, actually, in the mainstream media on ABC, even though I don't like that network, just to see what they're talking about, how the Navy successfully tested a laser on a destroyer.
Oh, that's been a thing already.
Yeah.
But they're showing it to the people, though.
Oh, yeah.
That's my whole point. They're finally showing it to the people. But some of those drones Iran has, they look a lot bigger. They look like a small fighter plane. They look a lot bigger
Oh, yeah.
than the
That's
ones they used against Israel.
Yeah, that's the fast ones. The ones that they're in their country, when they were firing on Americans in Syria, because my son was over there at the time, and they would get warnings that they had launched, so they had to be ready with the big guns to shoot them down and stuff. The closest one that got to them, the whole 9 months they were there, was 240 miles away.
Wow.
That's how bad they were. Now, they've evidently got technology from other countries now.
Yeah.
Most of their drones were scrap stuff
Yep.
from ours and from Israel and whatnot.
Yeah.
So probably with the money that Biden has gave them, they purchased a lot of stuff.
When they released all those frozen monies. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, it's sad how we're paying the other side, our tax dollars.
Yep.
Oh
They-
yeah.
The other side. And
We're
everybody-
helping them build their stuff.
yeah, this has been going on for decades, and even Eisenhower couldn't stop it.
Yeah, they've got proof that and I'm not to say too much about it, but the September thing that happened in 2001,
Yep.
that money came from us.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What better way to keep the military industrial complex going than to keep creating wars? And one thing I noticed, because I'm really into stocks, except for Raytheon, like basically Northrop Grumman, General Dynamics, Lockheed Martin, those stocks have dropped a good bit in price.
Wow.
And the stocks that have really gone up are some of the oil stocks.
Oil stocks. Wow.
Like Energy Transfer, because I do stuff with stocks too. And I think it's MPLX, I forget the code number for that. That's going up a significant amount.
Wow.
I mean, some of those pay a decent dividend.
That's another part of it. Yeah.
I mean, you got to look at stuff, because I've been into this for a long time. You got
Yeah.
growth stocks and you got dividend stocks.
Have fun with the granddaughter.
Oh, cute. The
You'll
grandbaby.
sleep next week.
We don't have any grandchildren yet. Our son is still single. He has a girlfriend. He's actually in Europe still he's the tour manager and sound engineer for a heavy metal band by the name of The Devil Wears Prada. And the other day, the German police stopped the tour bus they were in. It's not like the tour buses you see in the USA. And he knows what they were looking for. They were snooping around. They were looking for drugs. They didn't have any drugs. People don't realize, people that go to Europe as tourists, it's completely different than someone going over there with their career, what they have to deal with.
Yeah.
And just because the name of the group is The Devil Wears Prada, people think, oh, they're into Satan. They're not. Let me ask you guys this. Do you think that, okay, with things that go on earth, do you think there are people that have actually sold their soul to the devil?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Because I was looking,
Half of these big artists and politicians and stuff.
He's down there.
How do these people go about doing that? Just out of curiosity, I wonder. Like, would a demon manifest in front of them?
And if not, they're presented through drugs or some other kind of medium where the demons will approach them and say, "You do this for us, and we'll take you all the way. We'll put you at the top."
But you figure it's just like with a vampire. You got to invite the vampire in your house. They can't come in. If you don't want any parts of a demon, they can't touch you. They might be able to do things that could, hurt you in some way. But if you don't, I mean, who in their right mind would invite a demon into their existence?
Right.
But then it does explain a lot. You look at some of the crimes people on this planet have committed. They cannot have any kind of conscience whatsoever.
Right.
Because I feel bad shooting deer for crop damage, but if I don't shoot the deer, they're gonna eat everything literally.
Yeah.
Because I've gotten flack from people about that, and it's the uneducated people that speak out about it.
Oh yeah,
That don't know anything about the wildlife.
yeah. That's like the homesteaders the homesteader community. People get mad at them for raising their own animals, and they're nice to their animals. They're like, well, how could you do that? It's like killing a pet or something. And they're saying that, well, this animal has a much better life than what you're getting at your Walmart that's in a little 4x4 cage its whole life.
Yeah.
Yeah, CJ 1975 was asking which news sources put out stuff on the Middle East. It's hard to find them.
Yeah.
What do you think of RT News, Bubba? How accurate and truthful they are?
Who?
RT News.
Oh, you know what? They put out, actually, for what it's worth, they actually put out a lot of stuff that Americans won't cover.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
I'm not saying everything they put out is correct, but they'll cover stuff before it actually comes out on the mainstream. Or yeah. Overall, I'm fairly impressed, or at least I used to be.
We look at because we discussed it maybe last week. Look at all the stuff going on in Africa that's nobody is reporting about in this country whatsoever.
I know.
It's sad.
Stuff from Sudan to everything.
I mean, it doesn't matter what color your skin is. Everybody ought to live in peace and do unto others.
Yeah.
When my son was over in Syria, the United States wasn't covering it all. So I didn't get, because I was watching news all the time, because it was an active combat zone. And the only place I got information was Israel's news.
Yeah.
They covered the whole thing. The I-24 news, I think it is.
I really like them. Yeah.
You figure Israel's got the same problem we have here. They got left media and they've got right media.
Yeah.
And,
and
you got to figure out which one is the truthful and accurate media.
Yeah.
Just like there's three sides to every story, and the truth lies somewhere in the middle.
Somewhere in the middle.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Some kind of respiratory thing. His health has been going downhill too lately. Yeah.
And he's condemning our president, the one, 47.
Oh, yeah.
Or you could call him, what is the 17th if you go by the Republic?
He's condemning Trump for wanting to close the border. Like, what?
Look at the Vatican. They won't let people go in there.
Try to climb into the Vatican gates. Right.
And look how if a female has a private audience with the Pope, they are required to wear black.
Well, I like the. You notice how he started getting sick after he opened the unsealable, or the sealed halls or whatever it was. Even though when they opened the doors, you could see the guy's hand open from the inside was opening the door.
If he passes away, will we have a new Pope?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's always
They're looking for this. Yeah. This younger guy. Yeah.
Well, look at all the people that look at all these. I'm trying to think of the was the father. I'm trying to think of the priest that predicted the current pope would be the last pope. Was
The
it
last pope, yeah.
Malachi? Malachi is his name.
Yeah, one of them, I forget, but yeah, you're right. They said that this is the last one. Yeah.
There was a movie about it too, not too long ago. About
The Black Pope or
White Pope. Yep.
or something. The
scandal
last,
going on.
yeah, yeah.
There's really three different popes, and the one we see is the figurehead. And I'd like to know what all of them are smoking.
Maybe that's why he's in the hospital for respiratory.
I would just love for them to reveal all these books that have been hidden from the human race, all the knowledge they have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be the cool thing, to go down in the crypts and whatever.
There's like so many layers down below too, I
Yeah.
guess, in all this.
Yeah, and there's there was something about a crew that got to go down so far,
Yeah.
and you could see that went down further and further, and
yeah.
they weren't allowed
Yeah.
down there.
And maybe there's a door to one of those tunnels that go to Israel.
You know what? They do have something, yeah, and it's kept quiet. Yep.
Well, it's just
It's
like
like a train. There's like a underground something, yeah, that goes, yeah.
it's probably electric. You look at all these sci-fi movies, the old ones like Flash Gordon. Everything was electric.
Yeah.
Well, I watched somebody talking about something, and I never even heard this before. When Jesus had his last breath, there's some building or something that they had, I think, the ark in it, and there's a curtain that divided, and it split from the top to the bottom.
Yep. Yep.
And
Yeah, the curtain that divided the Holy of Holies in the temple.
yeah,
It tore from the top to the bottom, and that thing was like 42 inches thick or something crazy.
thick. That wow, I
Yes.
didn't know it was that thick.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it did it from the top to the bottom,
Yep.
which is
Well,
say-
it was like
it was
100
like-
feet high and like 40 or 60 feet wide or something. It was something insane. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The veil was torn.
Yeah, and the guy was saying that he wants everybody to post in the comments. So some of the comments were way out there, but some of them were actually pretty interesting. You know,
And I know
vision
you've done
from
this long enough,
God and man.
and I know you've done this long enough. You can learn a lot about somebody by reading their comments. And
Yeah.
no, even if it's like in a live stream chat or afterwards, you can learn a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they've got. I put up how many? Because there's 9 more alive hostages that are part of the first phase of 33, and there's 8 that have died that they're waiting on. So they're supposed to get 3 tomorrow, and then 3 on February 22nd, and 3 on March 1st.
Yeah. There's no way there's 76 of them.
I know.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I think there are some that are in different stages,
Yeah.
because they don't want to release somebody that's
Right. But keep in mind, they're supposed to be releasing women and children first.
Yeah.
They're releasing these men lately, and they're releasing the healthiest ones.
Yeah.
And they're already looking like sticks and bones. I'm like, what?
Yeah. I imagine if they released, a lady all beaten and
Oh yeah.
whatnot, then it'd be like, oh, they're bad people all of a sudden.
Well, and that was their big mistake this past Saturday because the whole world saw how skinny and emaciated these guys were. They're like,
They look almost like the people that survived the death camps in Germany.
well, yeah, that's what they were saying. Yeah.
And Trump was saying how one of the guys was big, muscular, and you could tell, you know, how the guy got really thin.
Yeah.
Yeah, my thinking is they're trying to take the people in bad shape and bulk them up, feed them now finally.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And some of the females that have been released, they mentioned how in their dispositions or whatever, like they were forced or they were giving donkey food to eat. Like pellets, like animal food. I was like, man.
Oh.
Plus, those people probably couldn't brush their teeth and might have dental problems now.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Yeah, where was it? Yeah, there's 9 left alive, 8 dead. They're still supposed to be released. But they're still holding those 2 children, that 2-year-old baby and that 5-year-old baby.
Yeah, who's taking care of them?
If they're part of the ones who are alive.
Yeah.
Well, you remember the stories about how they were putting, young ones in ovens and turning the heat on?
Yeah.
That is just so barbaric.
It is.
And there's nothing in Christianity. You figure, I've read through a certain religious text that they follow. There's nothing in the New Testament that says anywhere about doing things to your enemies like that.
No.
We're supposed to love our enemies and
yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of people in the world I've met I don't like, but I don't wish them dead.
Right.
You can dislike someone because Bushcraft and I and Eric were talking about this last time. You can't hate people.
Yeah.
You despise them, but you can't hate them.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to dump things on people.
I had cookies dumped on me earlier. I was like, good, I like cookies.
Oh, and the people in Philly today, it interrupted all the local TV channels. They had the Eagles parade. My wife was saying, I wouldn't go there. We wouldn't go there if somebody paid us $1 million. It's like a mob scene.
Yeah.
Well, if somebody paid me $1 million, I'd go and then leave real quick.
Her point was to stay through the whole thing, though.
Oh yeah.
Is Eric still there? Maybe he got raptured.
Eric.
He's probably getting his snack.
He's cooking his dinner.
He eats dinner awfully late. He was eating ravioli the one night, he said.
Well, that was a snack.
That was a snack?
Yeah, because you know how every time we go live, it has to talk about food somewhere in there, and he goes, I got to get something to eat.
I'm not bringing up anything but the grocery store scene today. And what I've seen at these stores.
We were already talking about apple pie and his shrimp tacos and stuff like that. So,
and I still don't see any end to this inflation. Right now we're still seeing the effects of the resident.
It's never going to go down.
Things are never going to get back to normal.
I'd be happy to start seeing better quality and stuff then, though.
Yeah, I have noticed the gas prices have come down over the past couple months.
What are they what's the price where you are for regular?
$2.99 at the moment.
Yeah, ours jumped up to $2.99.
Ours is about $3.14 to $3.19.
And you would think the closer you get to the coast would be cheaper, but it's not.
Well, the thing is, around here, that big oil refinery, it used to be the old Orca refinery. It's changed hands. They had a fire a few years ago. That was the largest oil refinery east of the Mississippi River, and they haven't done anything with that. It caught fire because it was in ill state of repair. Jeez. So a lot of the fuel they're getting is stuff that's being pumped to a depot.
What number are you seeing, T? 65? I haven't been watching it, so I don't know.
What number is she talking about?
Pricing it keeps going back and forth. It's $3.19 a gallon at the moment. Okay.
I'm getting fuel oil delivered Monday. I should have called it the day before. It's $3.39 a gallon. When I got fuel oil delivered, in the late fall was $2.85 a gallon. They figure this time of the year it's supply and demand.
Oh yeah,
because the oil's a little over, not the Brent crude, the other crude's like a little over $71 a barrel.
Even that's dropped. Yeah.
Well, it went up for a while. It's going to take a while for people think this is going to happen overnight. It's going to take time. It's going to take a year, I think, for fuel to start to really gradually go down.
Yeah.
And that's the time Trump's going to want to restock the oil reserves.
Well, he's already been signing contracts that Biden had canceled.
I still can't believe Biden got rid of our strategic oil reserves. I'm like, what?
Even when Obama was president, and because of hurricanes and stuff, he never released any of that.
Mm-hmm.
Cryptos went back up again. That's good.
What's XRP at? I wonder. I didn't get into any of that.
It's just now getting back up. It's 281. It was at 353, I think, is the highest, and then it crashed. We had a big crash, but everything's going back up.
XRP 281.
Yeah, I got into that when it was like
50 cents,
12 cents.
12 cents. Okay.
Wow.
Hey, Bush, I got to bounce. Jack's got a bad leg. I don't know if something's going on here. So, Bubba, Jim, good seeing you guys.
Great to see you.
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know what's the matter. I mean, he's all right, but he's kind of crying a little bit, so he needs my attention. So I will see you all soon.
You guys be careful.
All right. Bye, guys.
Gold had a big sell-off today.
Oh, did they?
Dropped almost $45.
Ooh, I wonder if that has to do with the talk with Putin over there about him joining
G7.
Yeah.
Somebody texted me that. I was like, "What?"
And you figure, look at BRICS. Trump is against that. And if these other countries aren't going to take, because I think Trump asked Saudi Arabia to increase oil production, and they said no.
Well, he told Germany about this. You have your oil from, you're getting your power in your plants and everything from Russian oil, and then something's going to happen, and something did happen. And that Russia cut them off, and now they're like, "Oops, we have no power and stuff," and they had to reduce the power people were getting in the cities and stuff.
Zelensky cut off some of that too. He used that as a bargaining chip. He said, if we don't get more money, we're going to turn the valve off.
Yeah, that was, that's the stuff in the water that blew up and stuff. Part of that too.
And I saw that when Trump meets with Putin, Zelensky is not going to meet with him until they come up with an agreement. And I don't think Zelensky is going to want to agree to anything.
Yeah.
Well, the fact is that all these countries are cutting him off now.
Mm-hmm.
Because Trump's not going to, pay $50 million a week to this guy and whatnot.
If Zelensky wants more money, okay, he had to be able to account for all of it.
Mhm.
Where's all this money going?
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
bought his mother or mother-in-law a very expensive house in Egypt for several $1,000,000.
No, he didn't. We did.
Well, technically he did it with our money,
Yeah.
allegedly. And all these members of Congress, because I've seen lists on different, forums I belong to, all of them, what these people's wealth is. It's amazing.
Oh yeah. Money we'll never see.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to them auditing the Federal Reserve and the IRS.
Oh, no.
That'll probably be the last thing that's audited.
Oh, wow. Well, and I see too that more and more of these government jobs are getting canned.
Yep.
And I was happy to see, I predict that we're going to see Eric Adams change parties because all that was done for political reasons.
Yeah. Well, I watched him just a little bit ago from his thing on Fox this morning or something, and he said he's going to stick with the Democrat parties, but he's bringing like this more conservative Democrat thing and is bringing a bunch of Republicans in. I was like, whoa, because he's teaming up with the ICE and getting the tax refund.
Hey, dealing with the IRS is just a mess.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I got a letter today because I send in estimated state income tax and I have to do sales tax for the Christmas tree business. Then it mentions they gave me a credit. In the form I send in my CPA, a fiscal filer, whoever looked at the paperwork didn't even know what they were looking at. It's ridiculous.
It's not on a screen, so they don't know what
Right.
do with the paper.
Yeah.
It's better to overpay these people than underpay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they think he underpaid. I've told this story before. My CPA filed amended returns going back several years, and we had to get the taxpayer advocate involved. We were lucky that they would take, because they basically get to a point in the year where they can't take on any more cases. Then we got everything straightened out.
Wow.
Yeah, didn't they hire like 600,000 people to work at the IRS? Wow.
You know what it is? Say you're a CPA, you have a private phone number where you can call people. When my accountant called the IRS a few years ago, he got this person on the phone. He could barely understand a word they said. They had an accent. Then they said they'd be back in a minute. And he went into stuff and said, get on your computer, look at all this. Then after that, they said, well, I'll be back in a minute. And he said, they're going to hang up on me. And he was right. They don't know what they're doing.
Wow.
Have you ever had any problems with the IRS, Bubba? If you don't mind me asking you.
Never given me enough money.
Well, I don't know if
Taking my money.
I don't know if they go after anybody on YouTube.
Oh yeah, a lot.
Oh, I bet they do. Yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of people when they start YouTube and they wait until the end and it's like, because there's people that blow way up and they don't take the taxes out or anything. They're like, woohoo, money, and then tax time comes and then they get this paper from YouTube that says that they made this much money. They're
That's a 1099 that the IRS gets a copy of.
Yeah.
It's just like, anyone that's in the financial stuff with stocks, you get a 1099 for each company of stocks and with, dividend income, if it's invested or if it goes to a money market account.
Yeah.
The thing is there's a lot that you can claim for YouTube.
Yeah.
Because your internet, your electricity, equipment, There's a lot. There's a lot. But you have to think about that the whole year when you're doing it too.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you figure you can only claim so much of the computer because, you're using it half the time for YouTube, or because nobody's going to use it 100% of the time just for YouTube.
It depends how you do it, because you say I have a separate laptop for
YouTube, okay.
my actual use, and my computer is for YouTube only, because you have streamers that stream 6 hours a day or whatnot.
Yeah.
And as soon as they're done, they're away from that computer.
Yeah.
And how much electricity do you think how much of their bill? Because I have no idea how much the computer takes.
Well, if it's a gaming computer, it takes quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've got 3 monitors in front of me, so that's 3 monitors, and I've got a beefy computer. So, and I had to run its own line and breaker just for my computer.
You have a separate circuit breaker just for the computer.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because when I first moved in here, like if the air conditioner kicked on and the monitors dimmed down, that's bad for a computer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we almost lost power here last night, and I think everybody felt it in this area because I went on the Pico Exelon website, and there were power outages, little areas in Philadelphia, and some near us, but we didn't lose power completely. The thing is, if there's an outage, you could have tens of thousands of people's lights just dim.
You know why? It's you guys in those poles that you guys like playing with over there.
Well, that's that's those eagle nuts in Philly.
Eagle nuts. I couldn't believe it. There are people out there actually greasing the poles.
Oh no. I've got to find my YouTube paper. The one that come from you got me thinking about that doing the taxes. I'm like, oh, where'd I put it?
I'm just on YouTube for fun. I would not want to be monetized.
Yeah.
I would feel like I was under pressure to do videos all the time for people.
Yeah.
Because when I do videos, usually they're just short and sweet about something. Just like, I have a theory that I think Matt Gaetz could be the special prosecutor.
Oh, yeah. Man, I am getting crap all over my Chromebook thingy. I hate that when you get stuff all over your keypad.
Oh,
From eating?
Well, coffee, anything, yeah. Sneezing, whatever, no.
Breathing?
Right. I'm just looking at the keyboard. I was like, well, how does it get so dirty?
Well, I use hand wipes on this thing to get the cord off.
Oh, yeah.
Just like TV remote controls, any remote controls, they're gonna get cord on them.
Yeah.
Oils from a person's hand.
Yeah.
One of the best things I had was is like Play-Doh, and you rolled it on it, it would pull the stuff out from the cracks and everything.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but you got to watch out for it on certain keyboards because it'll pull the keys right out.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I haven't played with Play-Doh probably in over 50 some years. I don't know what happened to my Slinky.
Oh, no. Remember those?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Lost
We used to
it
do the
down
Play-Doh on
stairs.
the comics, the Sunday comics, and
Oh, I remember doing that with Superman comics. Well, you're in your kitchen. Sometimes you're in the garage, Bubba.
yeah, I'm trying to upgrade. Trying to. Plus, I figured there's more lights in here and stuff. So,
and it's a lot warmer.
yeah. I usually do it in the garage, but now I'm like, you know what? Because I used to do it upstairs on my computer like you. I got 3 monitors up there, but I'm still running Windows 7. I bought it in 2011.
Oh, wow.
Man, that computer's 14 years old. I mean,
Can you get updates for that computer still?
no.
Okay, our mini Mac turned 10 in October. And I was talking to my son's girlfriend. She had a Mac laptop. She said once it turned 10, they stopped getting updates. Then it got to the point where she couldn't get on the internet. It took a few years after that.
Wow.
Yeah, that's like your iPhones and all that stuff. I think they only update for 2 years, 3 years sometimes.
Well, our landline phone is almost 23 years old now.
Wow.
I don't have a cell phone, Bubba.
That's awesome. That's fine. I ain't got nothing wrong with that. Shoot.
Yeah, when my tree in the backyard took out my power and the cable and the telephone line, and the telephone company came out and said, do you use this thing? and I said no, and he said, well, we're not going to put it back up.
Wow.
For the landline.
Huh?
You mean the cable that goes to the house for a landline?
Yeah, the landline. Yeah.
The POTS, isn't it? The plain old telephone service. POTS, copper.
Yeah. Most of the people that, if they do have a landline, it's through the cable.
It's all digital now. It seems like, yeah.
Oh, and Verizon.
There's a couple people I've talked to. They still have the old school, and I'm like, good for you.
Yeah.
When we got Verizon Fios, probably around 2005, I think it was, there was a battery in the basement in the box, and I had to replace that once. And then there were times where I remember one year, Christmas Eve, we lost power. We had no phone service at all. Then a few years ago, well, this was from a storm we had, an ice storm. Then a few years ago, we called them up because my wife got an email that our service was out of date. Well, now we don't have to have the freaking battery. They put all new stuff in the basement.
Huh.
And
if we lose power, it's happened a few times, but not for long. We still have phone service.
It's supposed to recharge that, because you can actually, even if you don't have a phone service, if you have that line out there, you can actually charge batteries with that.
It's one of those old
through there all the time.
Well, the thing is, it's one of those old archaic lead batteries.
Yeah.
And anytime we lost power, because there was one time where we lost power for over a day, maybe 5 or 6 years ago from a thunderstorm. There was a big power outage around here, and we didn't have phone service for several days until the power came back.
Jeez.
Yeah, the further you're out, they have to have a battery, because it takes so long for that line the power, because it's a very low. I mean, you could stick your. Never mind. I'm going to say.
You could put the negative and positive.
No, don't say that.
Okay.
That's why I didn't say it, because they're going to say I'm trying to tell people to hurt themselves and stuff.
It's a little sensation.
Yeah, I remember somebody actually got in trouble for, the batteries in smoke detectors, those types.
Oh, yeah.
Those things, and showed him how to do it, and he actually got in trouble for that.
Oh, no.
It gives a new meaning to the word juice box.
Good night, TH2. You have a good one. Yeah, I heard next week we're going into single digits again.
I was going to say, we get the cold coming again.
Oh, I was going to get it first, and then me.
Yeah.
We're going to get snow tomorrow morning. Then it's going to warm up to 57 on Sunday and go down to 22.
Oh wow.
Well, at least you're warmer than us.
Well, you're further north.
Mm, I don't know. Not really. I'm more central.
That's still a little further north.
Let's see.
Yeah, we're supposed to get rain tomorrow, and then it changes to 2 to 4 inches of snow as it switches over. I'm like, they can have it.
Yeah.
Well, the average,
It doesn't say what time.
the average high is going up every 3 days. Actually, most of January, the average high was 41. Now, the average high for around here on this date, I think, is 44 degrees now.
Oh wow.
And we're still below average. Because the coldest January this area ever had was 1978. And this past January was...
Yeah, everybody had
It
that. 78 was a... I still
Lives
remember
in a
that.
78.
Digging our way out of my grandpa's shanty.
Oh wow.
I've told
Oh
this...
shoot.
You got to remember, look how the world used to be. When my dad was a kid, townships, you didn't have all this excavating equipment. They had to shovel their driveway out, and they had to shovel. It took them a week to get out because they didn't have, townships didn't go around and plow snow back then.
Yeah.
And they're only
My grandpa.
What?
My grandpa, he didn't drive unless we were going fishing, and there in the wintertime you don't fish. So, even when we would walk, about 7-8 miles to the town,
Oh,
and
geez.
the grocery store, the post office, and the feed store was all in the same building, and they actually even had some cows. I still don't know why those cows was there. Probably for the milk that they sold, but that's where the store was, and they didn't have much stuff there. And I remember because I was barefooted. And,
Oh my word.
And that was normal for me. I was barefooted everywhere, but most of the time, most of the road there was a gravel road, and then it came to, wasn't really asphalt. I don't think it was something in between. And then we got to town, and there was a fancy road, paved roads.
Because my dad told me he remembers in the 1930s when he was in elementary school, they had that's when it was a week to get out. Townships didn't have plows. You figure, look at the undertaking people had in those days. You didn't have all these developments. People had to dig out a foundation by hand. That's why so many farmhouses aren't level and square, and how part of the basement is above ground on one side.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I did notice that.
Because my dad remembers the first local guy that had a bulldozer.
Wow.
And that was probably in the late 40s.
Yeah, I remember the 78 when we, after, because my grandpa tossed me out of the top part of the roof because our doors went out, and we couldn't open the door because bears will push their way in, they won't open the door. So that's how the door was. And because the coal stove didn't work, it started filling up with smoke and stuff, so we had to get out and clear the windows and whatnot. But
jeez,
after I got the door open, we dug our way to the well, which was about 8 feet away from his shanty, and then we dug a path to the outhouse. And that was it. Well, and then over to the right of the shanty was where the pile of coal was, and that's it. that was our whole path, and that's all we did through that storm.
Well, one reason why all exterior doors, man doors that are 6'8" okay, open in is so you can open the door. You figure all these doors open in, so you can open the door to get outside instead of having to push it open.
Well, the reasoning behind it is, it's because fires. Firemen kick it open.
Yeah.
You can't kick a door when it's the other way around. You have to pull, and you can't. It's harder to pull a door open than kick a door in. And if you're in B, will tell you this: if you're in Alaska, you don't have a door that opens in because the bear will just push and go in.
Has B Charming been to Alaska?
Yeah.
Does she live there?
I think her son does or something. I
Okay.
think.
Alaska's great.
I've never been there. My son was there 2 years in a row. He said it was neat seeing the sun never set. I think he was there in June.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is wild.
We had and this was in Millfield, Ohio, and they had we had bears because it was in that area. And that was the first time I ever ate deer, or not deer, but bear.
I've never seen them. They've been down here, but it's weird because of knowing game wardens. Several years in a row, it hasn't happened in a while. These bears would go from the Poconos and somehow make their way down and go into Ambler, Pennsylvania, which is like a town. And a few years ago, well, actually, one of the game wardens I know, they had to tranquilize the bear and put it in one of those containers and take it upstate. And the same bear came back, and it was a tree, and they tranquilized it. And then realized after it fell out of the tree, it died because it broke its neck. It had the same collar on it the game warden had put on it the prior year. There was a big to-do a few years ago. It used to be a major shopping center, the Plymouth Meeting Mall. There was a bear that made its way down to the turnpike down there, and it got into the mall parking lot. A young male cub.
Yeah, Grace. When I was a kid, I liked snow. When I grew up, I can't stand it.
Well, it is pretty to look at.
Yeah, on TV. Not in my backyard. But I understand we have to have cold to kill off the bugs and stuff, but just a week and then go back to 50s, 60s.
Yeah, we didn't get much winter last year.
Yeah.
Because the bugs were bad this past summer.
Yeah, they were.
I mentioned it before. Did lantern flies make it to your area, Bubba?
What is it?
Lantern flies.
The fireflies?
No, lantern flies.
You're going to make me look that up. I don't know.
Because I don't know what state you're in.
Indiana.
Okay. It was a big to-do in southeastern Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and even New York area, like New York City.
Lantern flies. Oh, those are funky looking. Those are funky looking.
That's why they call lantern flies the color.
Oh.
Because the people of Penn State said it was doom and gloom and going to destroy all agriculture in Pennsylvania. Then lo and behold, nature took care of it on its own.
Yeah.
They're pretty. It looks like a moth almost.
And guess where they came from?
China.
Yep.
Did it?
Same place.
Did they really?
Bugs. Yep.
Oh no. Oh no. I mean, they're pretty.
I don't think they're pretty. They're a nuisance, though.
I mean, the red and the black and the shimmer looking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think we got them yet.
Well, maybe they won't make its way to your area.
Oh, great. Now I know the apocalypse is coming.
Because I know they were in a problem with some of the coastal states of the South.
It says that they were spreading. Yeah.
Remember all the talk about the cicadas?
They don't do any damage.
How it was going to take over? Well, because they go in cycles. So
yeah, like the 17-year locust.
Yeah.
Remember how they said there was going to be all this damage during the solar eclipse?
Yeah.
It didn't happen.
Yeah. And that's the thing is everybody gets all shook up and everything. Even if it did, what are you going to do about it?
Well, it's just like, say we had a 9.0 earthquake.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, what concerns me is, earthquake or a tsunami.
Well, look at Yellowstone. If that goes, we're gone.
Well, I know. The thing is, what if a big asteroid hit the Atlantic Ocean? Water could come in hundreds of miles.
Oh, yeah.
Allegedly.
It says that those bugs can kill trees and plants or something.
But they don't bother the kind of Christmas trees I grow.
Oh.
The most they did was lay eggs on the tree. And it looks like those not moths, those wasps that lay a nest and it looks like dirt.
Yeah, yeah.
Mud
Mud and stuff or whatever.
Yeah, it looks like that.
Wow.
I mean, it amazes me all this hype over some of these things.
Right. Set traps, vacuum them up, stomp or squash them out, fly swatter.
It's funny, Grace, they didn't bother any of the vegetables I planted here when we had them for a few years.
Plant milkweed. Huh.
Hey there, Joe. How's it going? Well, it is 11 o'clock.
11
so
o'clock. Do you know where your kids are? Remember that? It used to be for 10 o'clock news, I thought, too.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I'm going to quite it right. Happy Valentine's Day. Roses are red, violets are blue. If you're an illegal alien, ICE is coming.
They're coming for you.
Hi, Tasha.
It's already Valentine's Day. It's 45 days already into this year, and it feels like, man.
Jeez.
It's just another day when you've been married almost 36 years.
And Trump hasn't even been in office for
A month.
for a month yet.
Right. Jeez.
And he's taking over the government.
That's right.
He's taking over the world.
I just can't believe how much Elon's moved up into the upper echelon of
Yeah.
You used to never see him around or talk government.
Yeah. I'm still not a fan of him, but
How come?
I don't know. It's something about him.
I mean, then there's the other theory. What if Trump and Elon could be the two witnesses?
Show brother.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to put on my boots. Man.
You gotta look at everything from the third person objective in life.
More like the 333rd person.
I've always look at a situation and try not to look at it with emotional, and just look at it from every angle you can.
Well, I try to look at things with logic, like Spock.
But you don't
at every angle, I get in trouble. I go down rabbit trails.
On Natasha only, the Pope, Obama, Hillary. And people were saying Hillary could be the harlot, and you know,
my.
the Book of Revelations. Then we heard it could be Kamala, could be the harlot.
The latest I've heard is Paula White. I'm like, oh, brother. She's a harlot, but that doesn't mean she's the harlot of Revelation.
I think when it all happens, we'll all be well aware of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's just the thing. The closer we get to the end, the more of this is starting to come together and make sense. But it's like each day a new clue goes off or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the thing that got me is everybody, the juice that everybody was getting. Oh, that's the mark. That's the mark.
I know.
And
I know.
Read about the mark. It says you'll
Yeah.
know you're
Yeah.
getting it.
Yeah.
And there's no mistaking it.
There's going to be no surprise. Right.
It's not hidden.
All right.
Saying you're getting this or you die.
Yeah, you got to voluntarily take it.
Well, I don't know if it's voluntarily, but
It will be at first.
yeah.
But I remember back when that came out, a bunch of preachers were saying, if you took it, you're going to hell. You took the mark. And I remember reading in chat rooms, people were looking for answers and they were looking for God. And they're like, so I'm doomed. I can't even get saved. I mean, you know what I mean? It was no, but these preachers are going to have to give account for that someday and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What if you took the mark and didn't know you were taking the mark?
No. Bible's really clear. Like it's going to be like a pledge of faith. It's going to be a
Mandatory thing.
Yeah. Because you're basically going to say, I want you, Lucifer, to protect me from the wrath of God.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because we all know Lucifer is going to say he is Jesus.
Right. Yeah. I'm the good light. Oh, man. That was like RFK yesterday. Trump is the man on the white horse. And I'm like, what? You're reading out of Revelation 6, verse 2. I'm like, what are you talking about?
One thing I saw last night that concerns me is some people think that someone in Trump's administration is going to be his betrayer, like Judas.
Oh,
No, I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it.
That's not new. He had that last time.
And the thing is, okay, who was the easiest person in his administration to get confirmed? His Secretary of State.
Marco Rubio?
Yeah.
I remember when J.D. Vance gave that to him, his confirmation and swearing in.
But the thing is, you know, how much, not on Trump's side, but how much does Marco Rubio still, even though he's Secretary of State, look at all the liberal stuff he was for. Amnesty with the Gang of Seven. You know, does he still hold a grudge against Trump for calling him Little Marco and for Trump getting the nomination?
Okay. What time you get off?
When he didn't get it for 2016.
Okay, be careful, baby. All right, love you. My teenager's going out.
On a date?
No, she's gonna go hang out with her girlfriends, I guess. Well, she'll see her buddy tonight, and then yeah. They're 18, man. They still do stuff where they hang out with friends and stuff. It's kind of fun.
Well, at least it's hanging out with the friend instead of the phone.
Right. Yeah. But while she's at home, yeah. 11:10. I made my cake and ice cream. Man, I set out steaks for tomorrow night. I forgot to do it. I should have made it for me and Mrs. Bubba tonight. But
if I'm on the phone too long, I get a sore ear. I only hear in one ear. I was born nerve deaf in my left ear. Either that or struck by lightning.
yeah.
Well, I'll be back Tuesday. I actually have an interview
Oh, cool.
on Tuesday. Hamilton Homestead. She does a lot of good cooking too, so
Ooh.
that'll be interesting because I'm watching some of her recipes and stuff, which was probably not a good idea. Making me hungry. But Other than
like
that, I'll
good
probably
cooking.
see everybody Sunday with on the Vineyard Chicks, and we'll see you on the next one. Everybody have a good night.
Good night, everyone.
Thanks, guys.